The Motorola Razr 2025, also known in some regions as the Razr 60, is the latest addition to Motorola's growing foldable family. Positioned below the premium Razr Plus, this model aims to capture buyers who want the futuristic flip phone design, but without paying flagship-level prices. Over the past few years, Motorola has been steadily refining its foldable lineup, and with this device, they seem to have struck a balance between affordability, style, and practical features. But does it really deliver the full foldable experience? Or are the compromises too big? Let's dive into the full review and find out. When you first hold the Razr 2025, the design feels surprisingly premium despite its lower price point. The back has a smooth, marble-like finish, which gives it a classy, polished look, even though it's made from plastic rather than glass. This is paired with a solid aluminum frame, giving the phone structure and durability. The star of the show, however, is the stainless steel hinge. It feels sturdier and smoother than before, folding almost completely flat with little to no visible gap. It also supports multiple angles, which means you can leave the phone half open for hands-free selfies, video calls, or even watching content on a table without a stand. This flexibility is something I always appreciate in a clamshell foldable. To further reassure users, Motorola has given the Razr 2025 IP48 certification, meaning it's resistant to dust and splashes of water. It's not as rugged as the flagship Razr Plus or Samsung Z Flip, but it's still a good improvement over earlier models. Moving on to the displays, Motorola has equipped this phone with a 6.9-inch LTPO OLED main screen. It runs at 1080p resolution with a 120Hz adaptive refresh rate, supports HDR10+, and can reach peak brightness levels up to 1200 nits. This makes it excellent for watching videos, browsing, or gaming, as colors look rich and the motion is fluid. Like with all foldables, yes, the crease is visible if you look at the screen from certain angles, but it quickly fades from attention once you get used to using the device. The cover display is another highlight. Measuring 3.6 inches, it's smaller than the one on the Razr Plus, but it still feels very practical. It runs at 90 Hz, is covered with Gorilla Glass Victus for protection, and can get just as bright as the main display. You can check notifications, reply to messages, access quick toggles, control music, and even use Google apps like Maps or YouTube directly on the external screen. Motorola has also integrated Google Gemini AI tools here, which makes the cover display surprisingly powerful for quick tasks. While it's not the all-screen experience you get on the Razr Plus, it definitely beats many budget foldables where the outer display is too limited. For audio, the phone uses stereo speakers that deliver good sound for the price. They're not the loudest or deepest in the category, but they provide clear vocals, a bit of bass, and enough punch for casual media use. The side-mounted fingerprint scanner embedded in the power button works reliably fast, and for storage, Motorola offers either 256GB or 512GB, though keep in mind there's no option for expandable microSD storage. On the software side, the Razr 2025 ships with Android 15 paired with Motorola's Hello UI. If you've used a Motorola phone before, you'll recognize the clean, stock-like interface. It's fast, responsive, and free of unnecessary bloatware. Motorola sprinkles in a few unique touches, such as gesture shortcuts, twist your wrist to open the camera, or chop twice to turn on the flashlight. These small features add convenience without overcomplicating the user experience. Motorola promises 3 years of major Android updates and 4 years of security patches, which is reasonable for a mid-range device, though not as long as Samsung or Google's update support. Powering this device is the MediaTek Dimensity 7400, which replaces the 7300X found in last year's Razr. Performance is good for daily use. Apps open quickly, scrolling is smooth, and multitasking works fine. Casual games like PUBG Mobile or Genshin Impact are playable at medium settings, though you'll notice some frame drops in more demanding titles. When compared to flagship foldables like the Galaxy Z Flip 6, the Razr 2025 clearly falls behind, especially in raw power and gaming performance. Another limitation is thermal management. During heavy use or extended gaming sessions, the phone tends to throttle, and performance dips noticeably. This isn't surprising given the compact clamshell design, which doesn't leave much room for cooling. Let's talk about battery life, which is one of the weaker aspects of this phone. The Razr 2025 comes with a 4500 mAh battery, an upgrade from the 4200 mAh cell in the previous generation. On paper, that sounds decent, but in real-world usage, the endurance is below expectations. In active testing, it managed just about 9 hours and 30 minutes of screen-on time, which is below average compared to competitors. This means you'll likely need to recharge before the day ends if you're a heavy user. On the bright side, the 30-watt wired charging gets you to around 60% in half an hour and a full charge in under an hour, provided you use the correct charger, which Motorola does not include in the box. Wireless charging is available at 15 watts, which is nice to see at this price range, though it's not particularly fast. The camera system is fairly modest. On the back, you get a main wide sensor and an ultra-wide camera, both with autofocus, while the 32-megapixel inner selfie camera covers front-facing shots. But honestly, with the ability to use the rear cameras along with the cover display as a viewfinder, the internal selfie shooter feels somewhat redundant. In terms of image quality, the main camera produces colorful and high dynamic range photos during the day, but details can look a little artificial due to heavy sharpening and processing. At night, performance is better than expected, with good brightness and fairly accurate colors, though again, you see that over-processed look. The ultra-wide camera is decent for daytime shots, though it sometimes struggles with white balance, producing a slight green tint. It doubles as a macro lens thanks to autofocus, which is fun for close-ups. At night, however, the ultra-wide underperforms with softer details and yellowish highlights. Video recording is supported at up to 4K resolution on the main camera, and the results are sharp with strong detail, wide dynamic range, and vibrant colors in good lighting. The ultra-wide isn't quite as impressive, with softer results and frequent focus hunting. Stabilization works, but it's not flawless. You'll notice it comes with a 4500 mAh battery, an upgrade from the 4200 mAh cell in the previous generation. On paper, that sounds decent, but in real-world usage, the endurance is below expectations. In active testing, it managed just about 9 hours and 30 minutes of screen-on time, which is below average compared to competitors. This means you'll likely need to recharge before the day ends if you're a heavy user. On the bright side, the 30-watt wired charging gets you to around 60% in half an hour and a full charge in under an hour, provided you use the correct charger, which Motorola does not include in the box. Wireless charging is available at 15 watts, which is nice to see at this price range, though it's not particularly fast. The camera system is fairly modest, small shakes while walking or slight tremors even when standing still. In low light, video is usable but noisy, with blown-out highlights. So where does that leave us with the Moto Razr 2025? On one hand, it offers a stylish, modern foldable design with improved durability, a useful outer display, bright OLED panels, and clean software. On the other, it makes compromises with battery endurance, mid-tier performance, and camera quality. For users who want to experience a foldable phone without spending the premium price of a Galaxy Z Flip or the Razr Plus, this is a compelling option. But if battery life and high-end performance are deal breakers for you, then it may be worth considering last year's Razr or saving up for a more premium foldable. At the end of the day, the Razr 2025 succeeds at what it's designed to do, bringing the foldable flip phone experience to more people at a lower cost. It's not perfect, but it's stylish, fun to use, and definitely turns heads every time you flip it open.